So that's interesting. So that's helping me paint a picture and understand it. So though you say the grandchildren and grandparents are the natural enemy of the parents, you actually set the parents up to watch their kids do some really incredible things.
Right.
And so the family that I was talking about, they're in different states than grandma and grandpa.
Sure.
And the parents were blown away that when their 9-year-old, son wanted to go to it was a aircraft war museum. I'm just pulling it out.
Right.
And when they visited it, same exact experience. He was given a tour. Tell me why you need, what are you looking for? Why do you need money that,
Right. Yes.
And so you're teaching things like how to think for themselves, right? Critical thinking skills.
Yes.
The family that I talked about, when the applications were made, she made one little change. They have a family meeting every year in the summer that all families come together, and the children had to make the request in front of the whole family.
Oh, well, now that's a nice touch. Except then that the parents have too much fun. That's not fair. I'm not so sure I'm in favor. I'm teasing,
of course.
I think it's lovely, but this is for the grandparents.
Yeah, but to your point, when you have enough grandchildren, then they're making that request in front of an audience.
Yes, that's
that
right.
way, and that does exactly the same thing. Like I have 2 grandchildren myself. One is 6, and we're just going to be starting this year. And so, there is nobody else besides him as he's going through this.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to figure out a way to do that audience.
Well, let me also say that if you have any grandnephews or grandnieces, don't leave them out.
Got it.
There's another piece of this, Michael, that occurs to me as you were telling your story, which I love, is this. The grandchildren's generation are the first cousins. Why is he saying that? Well, shirt sleeve to shirt sleeve proverbs hanging around. So, and that proverb either comes true or it doesn't in the grandchildren or first cousin. That's the same generation.
Agreed.
Just think for a moment, if first cousins, we'll say that rather than grandchildren have an experience relatively young together that isn't just going and playing, which they have to do a little work together.
Yeah.
Oh, are you building subversively their capacity to work together? They say, oh, my cousin Joe is interested in the zoo, and my cousin Sue is interested in Make-A-Wish Foundation. That was one of the things that the kids chose. And they actually went to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and sat in the chair where the child sits. But the point is that they didn't realize that they were learning to ask for something. No, wasn't any pressure. Nobody was telling them that this is the lesson. And they didn't realize that they were hearing each other in a different setting and doing something then together and supporting each other emotionally. So there's a lot of stuff in this that's very human about building community.
Yeah. And you're right. It's every society has some form of, shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves. And some people don't like to talk about it, but at the end of the day, that happens. It's happened in my family. Me and my cousins are not as close because it wasn't intentional.
Correct.
And so all you're saying is, instead of allowing entropy to happen, be intentional about putting those people together.
Yes. And somebody has to be the ringmaster. And who better than the elder generation?
So much fun. I love that.
Yeah.